Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Today I'm super excited to share a brand new Halloween home decor project, these Halloween rosettes with foiled accents, featuring some fun new products from the Simon Says stamp Cheering for You release, as well as these awesome rosettes from Holtz. And we're going to combine them with some previously released products and other good things and create these fun rosette home decor picks. Now you could just as easily place these rosettes on a card if you don't need home decor, but it is a fun option. For each of the rosettes, you're going to need 3 pieces to place end to end and then eventually assemble in a circle. So you'll notice that I am going through, when you die cut the rosette, it's going to die cut the score lines, and I am folding it along the score line, kind of going all the same direction. You want to make sure that they are going, or that they start and end the same, so that it folds correctly. They are going to be folded back and forth like an accordion, but I do find that this kind of makes it a little easier. Tim shared this tip in one of his videos, and so I'm sharing it here because it really does help. Now you'll notice that I am going and flipping it back and forth, and because it already has a little bit of a crease to it, it very easily is made into an accordion. We are going to do this for all 3 rosettes. The paper for my rosettes today comes from Doodlebug, just an assortment of Doodlebug from my stash. I have mentioned this many times, and I know so many of you agree or are in the same boat as me that we're huge Doodlebug fans. It never goes out of style, and I love the rainbow assortment. Now, of course, I was drawn to oranges and blacks for a very traditional Halloween look. I also think some purples and greens would be amazing. Now, once you have your rosettes folded, you're going to put some adhesive, and I am placing adhesive on that little tab at the end and then simply adhering them one to another. And I'm using this Lawn Fawn double-sided adhesive. This is the 1/4 inch size, and we're simply going to place it on that tab, peel it off. I like to use a craft pick to help keep my fingers out of it, and then simply pressing them in place. I wanted to put one together first to kind of get a feel for it before I went ahead and did the rest of them. Rosettes are one of those things that I find kind of addictive to make. Imagine doing these in fall colors. You could stick some fun fall rosettes in a pumpkin patch kind of display, home decor, obviously Christmas, Valentine's, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, literally the list goes on and on. You could have craft picks for every season. So they are very fun to make. Now in this rosette set from Holtz, there's a small circle. There's also several other layering pieces. That small circle is made to put some glue on and then glue the rosette to it. And I like hot glue. I am using the SureBonder hot glue gun, and I have that linked down below. And look at that rosette. You guys, how amazing is that? Let's go ahead and make the other 2 rosettes quickly, and then we're going to start embellishing with all of the fun things that I have to share today. Just like you can create rosettes for any season, the ways and the possibilities for embellishing are endless. Today, of course, I want to create some Halloween-inspired rosettes, and I'm going to use a combination of new and previously released product. You'll notice that a lot of times when I am doing craft projects, I personally love to mix and match from across the board. Things I've had forever, like Doodlebug pattern papers. Some of these exact papers may still be available, they may not. We're also going to use this rosette. Now the die set was re-released recently from Tim Holtz, but it was from a previous release from years ago. So it's not exactly new, even though this exact packaging, I guess, is a little bit new. And then last year, Simon Says Stamp came out with the Witch Please stamp set and coordinating dies. And this year, in the Cheering for You release, there is an amazing set of foil transfer cards that you can run through a Mink and foil, but they work back to those same dies. You can even see one sitting on the rosette there. They work with those dies, so it just kind of extends the life of a product that you maybe already have, and you're able to use it in a new and fun way. This is actually the first of 2 videos where I will be sharing fun ideas with these exact Witch Please foil cards and other foilable products. The other video will be coming tomorrow. I have lots of videos with this amazing Cheering for You release, but a couple of Halloween videos to kick it off. So once we have our rosettes assembled, I'm putting hot glue on the small circle, and really I dumped that upside down, burned my finger, all of the good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to press that to the back of my rosette, flip it over. I'm just going to add a little more hot glue right down the center, and I like to just squeeze it and hold it in place while that glue is drying. It does not take long at all, and this Surebonder is amazing. There's also a smaller Surebonder, more of like a pen hot glue tool that I also have, and it works amazing as well. For my rosettes, I have a stripe, I have like a little houndstooth or plaid, and I have a polka dot. That's kind of my plan, and I wanted orange and black. I could see doing more of these and pulling in some purples and some limes, gray if you wanted to, even some pink for that kind of, more modern take on Halloween that we saw everywhere last year, and I see it's coming back again this year. I know it's been out before as well. I've just really noticed it a lot in the last couple of years. Okay, once we have our rosettes, as I mentioned, now is the time for embellishing. So these go together easily. This is the foil transfer cards Witch Please. You can see it has the adorable witches riding their brooms, their sentiments, there's a standing witch, all of the things. We're going to use the witches riding on brooms, and full disclosure, I'm only showing the 3 rosettes here in the video because I ended up making 6 of these. 1 set for Simon Says Stamp, 1 set for me. And so they're very similar. There might be a couple of differences. Like these 2 witches riding brooms are not exactly the same. There was only 1 of each of these in that foil transfer set. So I used 1 in 1 set and 1 in the other. But you're going to notice that there's a lot of similarities if you see these again, like in my decor and stuff when I get my Halloween things out. So you can make a lot of these is kind of what I'm saying. I made a lot of I made 6 rosettes when I did this. Now, from some of the foilable sentiments in the Witch Please set, I did die cut it using a sentiment label die. And then I'm notching the end to make like little banners that we can hang from our rosette. The sentiment labels dies from Simon Says Stamp, they've been out for years. I use the sentiment labels all the times. I don't use the little notch that comes with these very often, but when you need to make those little fishtail ends and make little banners, they are there for you. So I have die cut everything. I have a Pink and Main Mink machine here. Any of the minks are going to work, or any of the foil machines are going to work great for you. But this is what I'm going to use, and I am going to use some of the Simon Says Stamp Deco Foil Yellow Transfer for all of my foiling. Now, I had multiple things to foil today, so we're just going to have a little fun foiling. There are these starry backgrounds I foiled. There is some acetate sheets that have like moons and bats. You're going to see those in another video that I'm sharing featuring this release. Really was inspired to create a lot of fun things with the foil machine. and with these foil sheets or acetate sheets. So I'm just letting it run through. Now I will say I kicked it up a little bit hotter. You can see I have it on level 4. I really felt like it needed to be like on 5 or 6. And I ended up running this through one more time to get a little bit better coverage, but look at this background. And again, I ended up not using it, but I think it would be amazing. I also think it would be amazing to take this sheet, die cut it with your rosette die 3 times. I think you could get 3 out of this, and then make a rosette from this foiled star transfer. I think it would be amazing. So just another idea. Also perfect for your card backgrounds, but I know I've heard from so many of you that you would like to see more home decor or 3D paper art projects, and so I am trying to bring a few more of those, especially as we go into the 4th quarter of the year. I know it's crazy here. It's July. July going into August. It's kind of crazy to start thinking about that, but we really are getting close to the time of year where we start our fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas crafting. So I'm just running that through one more time. It is kind of a slow process. I find if I get my Mink machine out, I want to foil a bunch of stuff right then and there. Now it's not necessary to die cut these before you foil them, but I didn't really want to foil the whole sheet, so I just went ahead and used those coordinating Witch Please dies and the sentiment label dies to go ahead and die cut anything I wanted, and then I'm running it through. You want to put the dull side of the transfer, look at that, isn't that acetate so cool? You want to put the dull side or the non-colored side of the deco foil against the foiled side of your acetate of your cardstock and run it through. I did flip this one upside down because I didn't want my little die cuts to shift on one another, and upside down I could see it better. So that's why I ran it through this way. When I pull these out and you see how cool these look foiled, oh my goodness, I am thrilled with these. Look how pretty. These are going to look amazing on our Halloween project. So I'm going to go ahead and foil anything else. I have another acetate sheet that I want to do here, of course, and another banner or so, and then we're going to start pulling it all together. In addition to the foiled rosettes, I also, and the banner, the foiled sentiment banners, I also die cut multiple sentiment label banners and fishtailed the ends from additional pattern papers. Now I am taking some other pieces and we are going to place like a layering piece from that rosette set into the center of this rosette. I thought I might use a little foiled die cut from that star background, but I actually think I'm not going to, so I'll just save that for something else. But this is really the time where decisions are made. The new Bat Trio of Wafer dies from Simon Says Stamp is going to make an appearance in a bunch of my Halloween projects, cards, decor, all of the things this year. It's literally one of my favorite dies from the release. I love these little flying bats, and I've die cut them from the Simon Says Stamp Luxe cardstock, so they're glittery black bats. Really just add to this elegant feel of these rosettes, and I love it so much. So I added the Happy Halloween glimmered little banner to the orange polka dot rosette, and we're going to surround that rosette with these bats. Now, because this is a home decor project and not, you know, a memory keeping project or something like that, I am attaching my bats and a lot of the elements. You're going to see me, you know, obviously I glued the rosettes together with hot glue. Hot glue was my friend here. It dries quickly. It dries much quicker than a liquid adhesive, and it's nice and strong. So I am going to be utilizing that throughout. Look at that. Simple, and it's just perfection. I can see sticking these into some of your, you know, fall displays, jack-o'-lantern displays. up on mantles, in vases, spools, all of the things. And then we're going to have the fishtail banners coming from each. They almost kind of look like a prize ribbon this way, but I love that instead of actual ribbon, I am using these paper ribbons down below. Now this one is really fun because this have broom wheel party, I think this would be amazing Halloween party decor, like if you're having a Halloween jack-o'-lantern carving party or just a Halloween party in general, birthday parties, whatever. I thought it was hilarious. So that banner hanging from that rosette has some sentiment to it, but the rest are pattern paper. To complete the decor, I needed to pull in something else, and I really love to utilize text, numbers, all of that kind of thing for decor. So this Curiosity Shop stamp set from Tim Holtz is perfect, and we're going to customize it because this number border, it has the right size and the right style of numbers that I want. It has a 1 and a 3 in it. I stamped it with clear embossing ink on black cardstock. I'm heat embossing with white embossing powder, so it's going to be this beautiful white, bright white on black. But what you're going to notice is Simon Says Stamp has some coordinating dies for many of Tim's Stampers Anonymous stamp sets now, this being one of them, but it die cuts the numbers in a border. Well, I don't really need a border. I need the 3 and the 1 so that I can do a 31 for October 31st, of course. 13 would be cute too if you wanted to do that. And so I'm going to die cut it. But once I've die cut it, I'm going to take my scissors and cut the numbers apart. I noticed that the number die is really intricate and it cuts nice and close to the numbers. So it's going to be very easy to cut apart these numbers in the border. In fact, I didn't even emboss the whole thing. I just embossed a portion of it. And we're only going to run it through my die cut machine far enough that it cuts the numbers I need. And then we are going to use those on one of the rosettes. And this one actually ended up being like one of my favorites. Look how incredible the 31 looks on here. And I'm using some foam adhesive on portions of this, so I'm piecing together that foam adhesive on the back of the 31. And that looks so good. It's definitely going to need a bat or two though, right? I think we can all agree it's going to need a black glittery bat. So each of them definitely have a distinct look. We have our witch with Have Broom Will Party. We just have a nice classic Happy Halloween with some black glittery bats. And then we have this kind of very elegant 31 with a couple of bats on it eventually. Now remember how I said that I used paper banners for our fishtail little flags hanging down because in lieu of ribbon, I guess basically. Well, we are going to soften these a bit with some ribbon. I am completely addicted to dyeing my own ribbon with the Tim Holtz Distress Spritzes or other product. You can really use whatever here. So what I like to do is put a couple of paper towels down in my splatter box. I use a plastic box that I can wash out, but the paper towels are going to help absorb a little of that excess. And then I am spritzing this with orange and yellows, and then making sure this is some May Arts ribbon. And then I want to dab it as much as possible to kind of take the moisture out of the ribbon. It's going to air dry really quickly. So look at this. There's our ribbon, there's our spritzes, everything is linked down below, and I let that set aside and completely air dry. Now, I did take some dowel sticks. I got these at my craft store, and I stained them with some Tattered Angels black velvet stain. So they are not the natural color, they're black. I thought that looked really, or kind of a blackish gray. It's not a super dark stain. You could use any kind of stain here or paint or whatever you want. And then I am going to hot glue my rosette to the stick. And now I'm kind of playing around with my ribbon, and it's dry. It's been a few Well, it didn't even take that long to dry. I just came back to this later. And I was trying to figure out how I want to attach everything. Well, if you tie the ribbon right to the dowel, then I could glue the tags to the back, but I didn't really like how that looked. I really wanted my paper fishtail tags hanging right down from the front. Now this would be pretty. You could hang or tie ribbons around your dowel and have them hang down. I love how that looks. I just really wanted the addition of the extra paper. So not loving that. We're gonna remove it and we're gonna go ahead and tuck our ribbons right up here underneath and glue those down. And again, utilizing the hot glue to make sure everything just stays really nice and secure. So I'm just putting a little glue here. I did get smarter as I did this, and I realized slide it up underneath and then just try to stick some glue to make it nice and secure. And I'm gluing both sides, and I want to make sure it's nice and straight. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now I have this amazing bow tool. This is from the company 141 Design. My friend owns this company and she made these bow tools. I have shown how to use them several times. And I'm going to have a dedicated video short or something where I share that in depth, but it helps you tie the perfect bow every time. So I'm using the 2.5-inch size and I am making several of these bows, and we're going to hot glue the bow to each rosette. And I purposely inked a very long length of this ribbon. Look how pretty it looks when it's dry. It was really dark when it was wet, but it dries very beautiful and soft. But I love how it looks. And then I'm going to leave the tails really long like this, so that they hang down. And then we're going to embellish the center of this bow with one of these Tim Holtz metal stars. And I love that. I originally kind of thought I'd leave it just like this, but I think I said a little bit ago, we're of course going to add some more bats because I added bats to everything. And let's go ahead and assemble the rest. So again, just gluing our rosette to the top and pulling off all the little strings that you get with the fun of hot glue. I will say, I guess it works for Halloween. It can be spider webs maybe, but most of the time not my favorite. And then we're going to hot glue. I'm just putting a little bead of glue there on the back and pulling off all those strings again. So you can see on the back it's a little less perfect, but no big deal. And then this time we're going to tuck the ribbon kind of up underneath our little witch, I think. And again, we're just going to figure eight that around our bow tool. And tie into a little knot. And I will film a complete tutorial for bow making and show you different kinds of bow making very soon. Ah, love that. So let's glue that in place and kind of going to tuck this one up underneath the witch a little bit. I'm also going to be adding a little bit more decoration to this rosette. There's lots of great, products out there that we can use to embellish, and then just kind of fluff that up, snip up our ends, leaving them very long and flowy. And this time I decided I don't think I want to do metal stars on all of them. And because I don't want to do metal stars on all, there's also the great little sparkly stars from Tim Holtz. Or you could use gems, you could use sequins, whatever. So we're going to glue some little sparkly stars. I think they're mirrored stars maybe is what they're called. They are linked down in the description. We're going to glue those around our rosette. And I just did about 3, I think. Just adds that little bit of sparkle. Just going to put a little bit here. And try not to burn myself. but I'm pretty sure I burned myself like 3 times during the course of this project. I can't use my hot glue tool without burning myself. I don't know about you guys, but every time. And I am really trying to clean up the little stray straggler glue that's all over. Okay, so we have one last rosette to put together, and then we will add some bats to the 31. Oh, I love it so much. I have this little jar that has all of my little mirrored stars in it. Okay, we're gluing the final one. And here is a look at my finished rosettes. So we have our bats, we have our witch, and we have our 31. Here is a look at that Tattered Angels stain that I was talking about. I wanted to share that really quick. I did pick that up at Hobby Lobby in case you're interested. And then here is also a look at decorating that 31 with some bats. And I'm just gluing the rest of my rosettes in place. And yes, this is the other set of rosettes. While I had everything out, I went ahead and made 2 sets. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it's inspired you to maybe think about your crafting supplies and ways that you can use them to create your own seasonal decor. If you have any questions on how I created this project, please leave me a comment down below or email me. I would be happy to answer that. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure and give it a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. The supplies I used to create my project are listed and linked below the video down in the description below. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.